It's Kody Brown from Sister Wives, and I've got a message to you from Justin. He wants you to know that you're his inspiration and that he's very inspired by your empathy. This is great because empathy makes for a great relationship.
I figure if I could go and run for office there, I might be able to change the world. Listen, I might be suffering delusions of grandeur.
Keep up the good work. Thanks for being empathetic. That's something that's really cool, especially in a relationship. And thanks for doing such a good job. Keep your head up.
We're not working like a family. We're not a family. We're acting like enemies.
Understand that you're a very empathetic person. And the best advice I have for you is you do you. If you're kind, if you're empathetic, if you're laid back, that's your personality. The thing that people who are kind like you have to do in order to not be exploited by others is to make sure that you set boundaries.
I'm saying to you that you and I get that if you're loyal to me. I was also attracted to your pedigree.
I know.
In our marriage, I was putting so much effort. I was holding her hand. I was kissing her. Well, I wasn't in love. I was doing it as my duty as a husband. There's an emotion that I'm sensing from her of this wahoo, like I'm out of here. And it's made me a little crazy. I don't want to move my stuff out. Christine moved me out. I didn't want her to move me out.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, May 6th, 2024. How are all of you doing today? What if I told you that Kody Brown has a new job and it is basically being a life coach? Well, it's not really being a life coach, but he's giving life advice. And this all happened to fall into my lap when I was over on Cameo and I noticed that someone was leaving a comment for him. And I about spit out whatever was in my mouth because it sounded so ridiculous that anyone would ask this of Kody or even say this about Kody, but someone did this. They wrote 19 days ago, he got a 5-star review saying, super good with self-help advice. Kody Brown is giving self-help advice on Cameo. Anyone can open up a Cameo. It can be a public figure, it can be an entertainer, it can be a singer, it can be a reality star. Anyone can have it, and anyone can set up the dollar amount that they want to charge for anyone to pay for a message. Kody charges $150, and his video messages are like 30 seconds to a minute and a half. His average is just under a minute. So you're paying a lot for not a lot of time. Every once in a while, he will get his wife, Robyn, to show up on Cameo, and she will either play coy and be shy, or she'll act a little bit unusual, like we don't really see her on the show. But I thought it was interesting that he's giving life advice. Here's a few clips of what kind of advice he gives, and just kind of marinate on this, because when we watch him on the show, some of this is very hypocritical.
Remember the good times and the things like watching Sister Wives and eating snacks, and that Andrew loves you. So here's an assignment to help you guys get this figured out. Next time you get a chance, you're going to go on a date and you're going to do something that neither of you have ever done, especially together. It's got to be something you agree on, and take the time to do the fun thing that's different and special. And then after that, take the time to reflect on your relationship and see where it is that you need improvement. Kody Brown, Sister Wives, your friend Carrie Ann, wanted me to share some advice with you. I understand you just opened your palm reading store, and I understand that you're a very empathetic person. And the best advice I have for you is you do you. If you're kind, if you're empathetic, if you're laid back, that's your personality. The thing that people who are kind like you have to do in order to not be exploited by others is to make sure that you set boundaries. I'm not the greatest parent, not always patient. Most important thing I think is just loving them. Having special needs kids, that's another challenge. Just once again, loving them, patience, and then I guess trying to teach them about being accountable. When you say special needs, I'm not familiar with what it would be specifically. But, as far as raising kids, I've been trying to teach accountability. It's not always an easy thing, and just trying to love them. So, at certain ages, they're all different amount of lovable. And I've got a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old and a 11-year-old, and they challenge me a little bit. They're all really good and loving kids. It's easy to love them. I guess that's the key, just being patient, being loving, pray for help, pray for guidance. Relationships with who you marry or who you have children with. And that's a tough one, because when you're vetting people, adults, I guess, you've got to be able to get around their avatar. All of us have a habit of putting forward something a little bit fake. So I take an attitude that God is inside of me, filling me with love and peace. And I say that saying a lot. The Spirit of God in me is the source of all my good.
I always wonder if people that are doing these cameos actually mean what they're saying. And I wonder how meaningful it is when you're getting advice from a stranger of someone that's on reality television about things that they know nothing about. So, if you're graduating from college, Kody's never gone to college. If you are getting your master's in nursing, he gives advice on stuff like that he knows nothing about. Although, I'm sure you can be empathetic and be like, I've accomplished similar achievements. Kody talks a lot about relationships and parenting. And parenting, it comes down to, he talks a lot about how it's hard to love kids. It's hard to love older kids because older kids are mouthy. It's easier to love younger kids because they need you and they love you. And he talks a lot about money and abundance and being positive affirmations about getting abundance and getting money. He'll talk quite a bit about boundaries and setting boundaries in relationships and holding people accountable, which is sort of funny because if you think about it, a lot of the people that are in his life that walked away from him, they're the ones that set boundaries with him. And he was the one that was trying to go over their boundaries and not let them go, or trying to control them from doing what they needed to do or living the life that they wanted to live. People were setting boundaries with Kody and he wasn't respecting the boundaries. But because he and Robyn will frequently, because Robyn talks about boundaries, he somehow has decided that he is the expert on boundaries. And I guess he would discuss that his tough love that he's doing with the kids now and with the wives is ex-wives is boundaries. And he's doing this because he wasn't being respected. I don't know. There was one where this poor lady just literally had a kid, and all he did was talk about kids that don't respect you as an adult.
I gotta tell you, when it comes to babies, they're usually just so easy to love. They're sweet, they're vulnerable, they need you. It's a sweet experience. The real key to parenting, I think, is to love your children when they get older, when they get mouthy. But in order to love them, you must never allow them to do anything to you that would make you resent them. So that's the trick. Make sure that you manage your relationship with your children as a parent and a child with love, with adoration, with kindness and understanding, and with discipline and respect. So those are the things that are going to be a challenge, as the respect, as things progress. What you need to do is make sure you're loving them enough that they will keep respecting you, but you have to set the boundary for that respect.
I think it's interesting for someone that has such bad relationships with his kids to use language like resentment, and don't allow your children to do anything to you that would actually make you feel resentful of them. Meaning you feel like they've injured you or they've caused some sort of insult to you. You're feeling anger towards them, frustration because of something they've done to you, and you can't let that go. And so you allow that to fester inside of you because you've been wronged by them. And he loves to play the victim. We know this. But feeling resentment towards the kids, I know it happens. Like, I know people will sometimes feel like they feel like their kids made their lives worse, or something in their kids are doing, they can't forgive them because they're not doing what they want them to do, or they resent them because they can't do their chores good enough, or whatever it is. It's a feeling and a sentiment that as a parent, I don't understand. I can understand resenting your parents, but it seems kind of backwards for parents to resent a child, because it would feel like a parent should be forgiving of a child and accepting of a child and understand that sometimes their children are going to do things that upset them and that aren't perfect. According to Cambridge, which is a dictionary, it says, what does resentful mean? Feeling angry because you have been forced to accept someone or something that you do not like. I was resentful of anybody's attempt to interfere in her work. Angry or displeased. Nurses are often resentful of additional unpaid demand on their time. I found this article. It says minor feelings of resentment are one of the normal emotions of parenting, but more frequent or intense feelings of resentment can be a sign that something needs to change. If you're a parent of an infant or a younger child, it could mean that you need to do something, like change needs to come from you. You need rest or time to recharge your batteries. You might need reaching out to a family member or friend to see if they can help. As kids get older, you might feel resentment because you're doing too much for them, but you still need to take time for yourself. But also take note of what you're doing for them that they could be doing for themselves. Get your child to do chores, make it easy on them, get your child to do their own homework, accept the feelings of normal of resentment. It's just a strange feeling for me to the immediate is to go to resentment. I feel like when you're trying for perfection and your expectation is perfect, like Kody, and he's the expectation of the perfect life of the Mormon life or the fundamentalist life, this expectation that kids should obey him, and then he's resentful of them when they're not. This expectation that the kids will respect the woman that he loves, and then they don't. Perceived respect. He seems to have these ideas that kids are to serve him and not the other way around. It seems very, very one-sided. It's about what Kody can get from the child. They're easy to love when they're young because they're lovable, because they need you, right? So he's feeling something. But it's harder to love them when they get older and they get mouthy because they have an opinion. So as long as you don't have an opinion with Kody, he'll love you. And when you do have an opinion and he doesn't like it, he'll build resentment towards you and call you mouthy. It's a weird place to live. And I can't believe anyone would want that kind of advice. Interestingly, Kody and Robyn show up for marriage advice. This one's hysterical.
Hi, Isaac. It's Kody and Robyn Brown from Sister Wives. We're here to wish you a happy anniversary.
5 years.
Yeah, well, that's exciting, and congratulations.
Yeah.
We wanted to do this right here where Robyn and I, during COVID, because everything was shut down and lockdown, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary right here in this spot right here. We created an environment. We set up these Edison lights that you can see. We planted flowers in flower pots.
And the kids came and served us this really fun dinner.
Yeah.
And it was what we did for our 10th anniversary.
And it wasn't filmed.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about this but our children.
Yeah.
And we just decided we would share it with you because this is our special spot.
Because we know that love is love.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
Love is love.
Love is love. Congratulations to you. Congratulations for nearing your end of nursing school.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And we hope you guys have a wonderful life together. From us to you, lots of peace and lots of love.
Imagine you're having an anniversary and you get a message from Kody and Robyn and all they do is talk about themselves. Is that what two narcissists do or what? So they're like, congratulations on your anniversary. Now let's tell you about my anniversary. We did this amazing thing during COVID when we were not talking to anyone else in the family. And we put up these cute lights on our deck, and then our kids made us food for us, and then we planted some flowers. It was really amazing. And we, by the way, didn't film it because why would we film that we're in love and having time together when I'm fighting with literally everyone else in my family and ignoring them? You ever notice that they never show Kody and Robyn on dates? They never show Kody and Robyn going and they're celebrating their anniversary or talking about their anniversary or birthday dinners or anything of the sort. But then with Janelle and Christine and Mary, it was always like, well, it's our anniversary or it's my birthday. I'm starting to understand here that the reason why is because For them, Janelle and Christine and Mary, that might be the only time they see him for a year, or, you know, the very few times they see him is the anniversary or is the birthday. But with Robyn, their anniversary is just another night because he's always at her house. And then she has the luxury of not having that filmed, whereas the others don't. So they're having this whole like love fest at their house, and then everyone else is in dysfunction. I'm sure Kody and Robyn are in dysfunction as well, but it just seems strange, right? And then add this to all this disconnect that was happening in the family at that time, and all they can talk about is how much they love each other. And then there's so much, like there's a bomb going off in their family, and they're hiding in their little love bomb, in their love nest, making a love moment and not filming it while everyone else in the family is getting thrown out and discarded. It's just complete and utter lack of empathy or compassion for others, or lack of emotions for the fact that what you have is impacting everyone else. And if that's what you want, have it, but don't bring all these other people along with you, right? And they're trying to act like this is the sweetest thing ever, but in retrospect, and you understand how much happened in this family during this time, you realize they were celebrating their love while everyone else was fighting to just have a bit of a relationship with him. Kody is hiding these things intentionally, obviously, because if people saw what he had with Robyn, it would make everyone on the show realize how different their family was and how differently their relationships were and how much different he was at Robyn's house with Robyn in his relationship with Robyn, and what he was giving to her that he's not giving to the others. It reminds me of that meme of the little girl that like lit the house on fire, and then she's sitting away from the fire and she's like smirking, and the fire's burning down and she's just like happy as can be. You know what I mean? Like the whole world is burning down around them and they are oblivious. And then they're intentionally hiding from everyone because they want to be in their love nest. But then they're like happy that the world behind them is burning down, but then at the same time crying on the show that they're burning down the world and their world is burning down, and then playing the victim that their world is burning down. Their world was never the rest of the family. Their world was always the two of them. And it's evident that they were hiding their relationship and what they were doing intentionally from fans, so that it could appear as though there was some sort of polygamous family when it really wasn't for a very long time. Anyways, that's what I have for this video. Kody is moving into life advice. Kody and Robyn sometimes give life advice. They give bad parenting advice, terrible advice for anniversaries, and they make things about themselves. And you can get it all for $150. Please don't, unless it's a joke. And even if it's a joke, it's expensive. Anyways, what are your thoughts about these secret anniversaries and not filming, and of doing things together and intentionally not filming it while everyone else has to film? It's like more preferential treatment. And what do you think about Kody's terrible parenting advice? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to leave me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.